Welcome back to Voice of the Valley. Today we are here with Zach Masali. He is the founder of Finishers MMA. How are you doing today, brother?
Dude, what's up? Good, man. How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Facts, man. So you are in Jiu-Jitsu, then you're a specialist in Jiu-Jitsu, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So for those that aren't really knowledgeable on Jiu-Jitsu, but more on boxing and stuff, what exactly is Jiu-Jitsu?
Jiu-Jitsu is like pretty much, if you've ever seen wrestling, like I know like a lot of people know, like obviously you know about wrestling, like or Olympic wrestling or anything like that. It's kind of like wrestling, but it's, they call it submission grappling as well, but it's all the stuff that happens on the ground. So like wrestling, you go for a takedown. Once they hit the ground, there's submissions, there's like arm bars, leg locks. So it's like basically the science of, trying to choke someone out when you hit the mats. And then it's like, if you've seen MMA or UFC or anything like that, like once you hit the mat, that's pretty much jiu-jitsu, wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So, but then I've done like MMA as well. And then kickboxing, we have that at the gym too. So we do the stand up. It's, we incorporate kicks though. So it's a little bit more than boxing, but we got a lot of guys that have got into boxing too. So.
And how did you first get into jiu-jitsu?
Actually, my dad, I got into jiu-jitsu because I started doing MMA fights and I had no grappling skills whatsoever. Like I was pretty much just a stand-up fighter, like throwing punches and kicks and all that. And then I kept getting taken down and I just didn't know what to do. So I was like, all right, I got to start figuring out how to do, grappling. And then I actually started with Tiger Schulmann's. Have you ever heard of those guys? Yeah. And it was like mainly karate at the time, but then it changed to more MMA style, So they have a lot of guys that made it to UFC and everything. And then, I think eventually that's what got me into jiu-jitsu. Like I needed to learn the ground game aspect of it.
So how prevalent is it nowadays to use jiu-jitsu and MMA?
It's not as much as it used to be. I think when there was like one guy was a wrestler, that's it. One guy was a boxer. One guy that I think they had an advantage over people because no one really knew moves. But now it's pretty interesting with the internet and with not just the internet, but like Instagram and stuff, putting up reels. Like people just learn stuff so fast. Like these young guys know all these moves right away. So there's no really hiding stuff. So it kind of secrets out on stuff, but it still really works. Like there's really good guys like Charles de Bronx, like Charles Oliveira. There's like a ton of guys that are really good at jiu-jitsu. Like there's a big fight this weekend where I think Patty Pimblett might be able to choke out Justin Gaethje. It's possible, So I mean, there's still a lot of, wrestling doesn't teach like choke outs, or arm bars or leg locks. So it still comes up. It's just not as much, I would say.
When you watch that stuff, it looks very dangerous, I guess you could say. Like, and especially in training, I guess it is as well. It looks like you can break body parts easily. Yeah. Is that true?
Yeah, you could. I mean, but that's the thing. People tap out. You know what I mean? So you can always tap. But every now and then, though, you'll see, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen on Instagram, like somebody like his arm like breaking or something like that. There's freak accidents that happen all the time. But I mean, most of the time people tap. But yeah, if like a guy didn't know, like a leg lock entanglement or something, you put someone in a heel hook and crank, like you could tear someone's ACL or, break someone's arm or whatever. But, in the gym, everything, people tap. And once you know what you're doing, but there's not really many injuries. So.
Right. So you said you went to Tiger Schulmann's before.
Yeah.
And growing up, like, who do you think taught you the most about jiu-jitsu?
I would say starting out, like my coach there, the owner, he still runs the place, Sensei V. Shout out to Sensei Vilifane. He got me into it. Like he had, I didn't really know what to watch. Like he was kind of just learning along at the same time I was, because like the game was changing. It was like not so much karate anymore and not just stand-up fighting. You got to know how to do submissions. Like you got to know, like if you didn't know any of that shit, you could be the best boxer. A guy takes you down, it's toast. Now, like even the best boxers in MMA are learning. They got to wrestle, or like dudes will just exploit your weakness. So I think Sensei V, he like introduced me to the game and like showed me some old like videos or DVDs like back in the day you'd have to buy. And then like my buddy Bill showed me UFC. Like I saw the first ever UFC at 48 Hours Video was out on 191.
Oh,
yeah. All right. There was one on Union Blvd right up here. Yeah. shout out to 48 Hours Video. But yeah, I would go there and they had like a special interest. And that one 48 Hours had like the back room, you know what I mean? Where like, you'd be like, what's back there? My dad's like, do not go back there, right? They had all the tapes back there and shit. And then on the other side was just like UFC. And then like, I was like, damn. And I remember there was 3 of them out and I saw that. And Royce Gracie was like, he won UFC 1. He just choked guys out. Dudes had no clue what was going on. Yeah. And he was putting them in weird shit. Like now everybody knows, so it's a little bit harder. But some guys, if you don't respect it, like you'll get tapped, you know?
When was that? The early 2000s?
Yeah, I think I was still in high school. I was like 16, I think. I'm 42 now, I think. And it was, probably was like in the 1999, whatever year it was when I was 16, like in the 90s even, maybe I saw those. Like I graduated in 2001 from Freedom. Mm-hmm. So maybe like even 2000. Like I got my black belt from Tiger Schulmann when I was 16, and they were just making the transition to like boxing and stuff. So it was pretty interesting. Like everybody's kind of learning as you go.
Yeah. You said you went to Freedom?
Yeah.
Did you wrestle there?
No, I didn't. I wanted to, but I think like I lived with my mom for a while, and then I moved to my dad's, and I ended up going to East Hills for a little bit, but I didn't know anybody, and I never wrestled. It's kind of like more of a straggler, I would say. When I was living at my mom's, I really wasn't playing any sports or anything. So when I got to Freedom area, I like didn't really go out for anything. I just kind of chilled, and I got into martial arts. My dad was like, well, if you're not going to do any sports, you got to do something. And I thought wrestling was stupid back in the day. I'm like, I just was like, I'm not going to wear that Speedo or whatever it is. He's like, it's not a Speedo. It's a, now all the guys that train under me will make fun of me for saying that, but I didn't want to wear it. And I just, I wasn't good enough at baseball or football or anything. And my dad was like, you know what? I'm putting you and your brother in some type of martial arts. So that's why he put us in. He was just like, all right, where's the closest karate school? Boom. And then we signed up there, and that was it.
So how long did it take you to become pretty good at MMA and Jiu-Jitsu?
I felt like I got good. I got like as a kid, I got good pretty quick, and like I dedicated a lot of time to it. Like I was just going there every day. I would just after school, I would just go right to the gym, hang out there, and I would still hang out with friends on the weekend and stuff. But most of the time during the week, my dad would be like, all right, if you're not home, you're at the gym, So I started doing good when I was a kid, doing competitions. And then I think when I was like 19, or 18 or 19, is when I did my first fight. And then maybe a year or two before that, I was like, I think I'm actually pretty good at this. Mm-hmm. And once I was going with guys my own weight and stuff, I was starting to do a lot better, and I was still young. And I just learned jiu-jitsu quick. So I kind of felt like I had a knack for it. But then looking back on it, I wish I did wrestle, because I would have had a totally different base now, I had to play kind of a different game, and I had to go back and learn wrestling. So
yeah, it helps you a lot, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like guys, we were talking about guys that, like Jules, he's so strong. He's like a bull. And now he knows jiu-jitsu too. So I taught him everything I know. So he knows all the moves I know. And now I can't really do shit to him, and he's really hard to score any points on. If you can't, he wrestles from a low stance, so you can never put him on his back unless he wants to, and he also knows leg locks too, which guys just so if anybody comes at, even if they're maybe a better wrestler than him, he can ice him with a different kind of submission. So it's kind of cool. He's a beast, man. He's one of the only guys I can then, go with, some of my other black belts too. He's an animal, and he wrestled for Easton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's tons of guys like that, they come with a wrestling base, and you're like, damn, what am I going to do with this dude? Teach him a little bit of chokes, arm bars and stuff, and they're just good fast, So
fast forwarding, so you went to Freedom.
Yep.
Wrestled, and then you said you were just chilling for a while.
Yeah.
What year did you open Finishers MMA?
Man, I was I didn't wrestle actually, but I was I maybe went to a wrestling practice or two, after I graduated, just to go back. Some of my friends, Brandon Horlick and other guys who wrestled for Freedom, Dave Kohler, those are guys nobody knows, but they were good wrestlers in high school. And I would go there and maybe try to test out jiu-jitsu against them. And they were kicking my ass, to be honest with you. I knew moves, but I didn't have that grit and endurance and just having that dog in you like wrestling style does for you. I just didn't have that. I had to learn that later on. And then I did a couple of fights for Tiger Schulmann. Like I did MMA. I did a ton of jiu-jitsu matches. And I think I was like in my mid-20s and I was like, man, there's no money in this. Like unless you like become one of the greatest of all time, which I didn't think I was going to be one of the best of all time. And fighting's obviously rough on your body. And it's not like I'm playing professional football to where like, I'm getting my ass kicked, but I'm getting a huge check. This is like, you're not getting anything. It's like back in the day, you're almost fighting in like gymnasiums for fun. But then like I took a couple years off. I still kind of trained sporadically. And then, I was like single and I was like, not really like I was getting my college degree and everything. And I was like, you know what, if I was ever going to like make a run at this again, like I should do it now. And I felt like in the Lehigh Valley, there really wasn't any legit places to train. And I was like, fine, I'll just have to do it myself. I waited for years for someone to open up, and not that Tiger wasn't legit and Top Team and all these places were good. I just felt like I could do it my own way and attract a different kind of people, different kind of, student or whatever, if you will, or like, person who wants to sign up there, and it blew up. So I think like maybe I was in my maybe I was like early 30s, I was like maybe 33. I'm trying to think. We've been open since 2013. So I'm so bad. Like my brain is like does not work with numbers. I'm definitely not good at math. But yeah, whatever 2013 was, that's when it was open. So it's been open a while. Like we were actually supposed to do a 10-year anniversary thing, and I was like, oh shit, we've been open for 12 years. I'm like, we totally forgot. I'm like, all right, well that's a good thing. Kind of, we're just chugging along. So yeah, I think I was just like had nothing to do, and I was like, man, I could like really go and get like a full-time job, or I can kind of work a kind of a job I didn't care about. Save up a little bit of money. And then I lived in, like I was telling you guys before, I lived in the back of the gym for like 8 months, and I like didn't want to pay rent. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to live in the gym. My buddies were like, are you okay, man? I was like, yeah, dude, but I want to do this. I think it's going to work. I think I could sign up enough people. And then if it doesn't work, like I'm still not like at my age now, like restarting over life, which would suck, Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? Let's go all in, see what happens. No. And yeah.
So you said there's no or very little money in it. Has it changed?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, still though, at the professional fighting level, I feel like it's not. I was having a conversation with one of the guys the other day. Like all the best athletes in the United States go into the big money sports, like UFC. Like you can still make it big and be like a Conor McGregor or whatever, but it's not enough to where you can. All these guys have to get into different kind of businesses after and stuff. If you played in the NFL and you made like $2.3 million per year or whatever, like even the low wages are, I mean, you can kind of open up a restaurant or you can just kind of chill, if you're smart with your money. Like obviously if you blow it all in any industry, you're an idiot and you lost all your money, and that happens all the time. But some of these guys, like they're really not making jack and they're on the main card. You know what I mean?
But why? Yeah. I mean, this is one of the greatest sports in the world, fighting and MMA and all this stuff. This is the greatest stuff because back in the Stone Age, you had running and fighting as your sports, right? Why do you think that no one cares to pay attention to these sports as much?
I think they do. I think it's just corrupt. You know what I mean? I think we got to talk to Uncle Dana on this one because, boxing, the guys will make a lot more in boxing, but that's also kind of corrupt too. Like people talk about like how, like some of the best guys don't fight and there's different kind of backdoor deals. And like now look at like, what do you guys think of Jake Paul? What do you guys think of all that? You know what I mean? He's making money.
It's all marketing.
Yeah. It just turned into like everybody has to like market themselves to fight as opposed to seeing who the best fighters are. And like the UFC will pull fast ones where they don't put on the best fighters. They'll just put on like whoever the most popular are. Now a lot of times the best fighters are the most popular, but then some guys they'll push harder than others. And I just think like they're just happy to get paid because they were getting paid nothing. So if they're getting something and they are getting like a couple $100,000 a fight or whatever, that's good. While the UFC is making like, selling Paramount deals for like billions or whatever it is. And these guys aren't making jack. So, and now things have changed though. We'll have to see what happens with contracts because they got a streaming deal. You can just stream UFC. So who knows whether they're going to like, Conor McGregor, I heard once a new deal because his was based on pay-per-view points, like how many pay-per-views sell because more people buy a pay-per-view, like when he's headlining the card as opposed to someone else. So it's all about money. That's the thing. Like everybody at the top is trying to keep it all. You know what I mean? Where I think like some of the best athletes are just going to go play basketball or play baseball. I mean, look at baseball contracts. Have you seen some of these contracts?
Yeah,
these guys get
10 years, $500 million.
Yeah, $500 million. Like, dude, 500 UFC fighters won't sniff that amount of money. You know what I mean? It's pretty wild. So it's unfortunate, but like hopefully things change. I mean, they were suing the UFC. There was like a big class action suit, just legally how they interpret like how you work for the UFC. Like I'm sure you guys know there's subcontractors and there's actual employees. So they have these guys listed as subcontractors, but they can't go fight other places. So wouldn't that make them more of an employee?
Yeah.
Like I work for you, like there's a no compete clause. You can't go compete somewhere else. But if I'm a subcontractor, then I can do my fights here. But then I can also, like back in the day, they allowed more leeway where guys would go fight in Japan because they realized like these guys got to make money. They want to fight. They can't do, and then the UFC, if they have you, they could just put you on ice and be like, hey, you're not fighting for a while. And you don't make any money. So
yeah. So who makes the most money right now, you think, in the UFC?
I mean, current people, man, I don't even know. I would say whoever the most popular is, really. I mean, Conor McGregor is going to come back. They're going to do this fight at the, have you seen, they're going to do a White House fight card.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks insane.
That's cool.
Yeah, it looks insane. They're going to walk out from the Oval Office or something, like walk out. So, I mean, if McGregor comes back, it's probably him. I mean.
Yeah. Do you think Sugar gets a lot?
Yeah, I'm sure he gets paid. He gets paid off a lot of other stuff, though. He's got deals with like bong companies and like all types of stuff like that. So I mean, you got to do it.
He's fighting this week too, as well.
Yeah, I think he fights. Is it this weekend? There's like 2 in a row.
He's the co-main.
Yeah, that should be good. I mean, look, everybody watches it. It's UFC is blown up compared to what it used to be. Like back in the day, if you told people that, nobody would watch it.
UFC is my favorite thing to watch. I run a basketball league. I don't watch basketball.
Yeah,
football. But UFC is like the only thing that I'm actually. That's the only video game I'll play too.
Yeah,
there's this game that came out, UFC 25 or something.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, everybody loves it
because UFC is probably one of the only sports that isn't staged.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you're not staging getting knocked out.
It's very tough to stay. Yeah. Like, although there is like weird betting scandal stuff going on. Have you guys seen that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. There's some weird stuff going on where guys like were hurt. See, that's the problem. The guys at the lower level, like the guy's kind of hurt. So he puts up, they let his coach, they kind of like leak it to the public. Like, oh, his knee's hurt. And then he kind of taps out in a weird way, So there's like shenanigans going on. I'm getting real conspiratorial lately that I'm getting older. Like I'm looking at everything like, wait, was that fake or, you know what I mean? Literally like NFL too.
Yeah.
It's like, I was trying to explain to my wife, I'm like, look, they could not call anything all game. And at the end, it comes down to one call, and they're like, it's this way, and that's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? The NFL can, and then NBA, same thing. They could just call fouls on any, and even in NFL, I feel like they could call holding on everything. Like in the wide receivers, like the way the guys are all over each other. Like,
So you know what my conspiracy is with the NFL? I think the only people that know what's going on are the defensive coordinators and the offensive coordinator and the head coach, because they control the games.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they talk to each other, then I feel like they can kind of script the whole game.
Yeah,
and then the players are just pawns.
Yeah, it is possible. And then, like, look, if you want to, those refs, how much money are those refs making? Same thing in UFC. That's what they were accusing a lot of the guys. And I know a lot of the refs, and they seem like really good guys. Like, so, I'm not going to name anybody, but I mean, they accuse, and then when you start putting it in, you're like, well, I don't know. That was kind of weird. Like, and there's different things. The way people think of it is like, is the whole thing rigged? Or are they just trying to cover the spread in betting? If they're like, hey, man, like, we need it to go to the second round so that way it goes to the scorecards. So if it doesn't get out of the first round, the bets don't count. And we feel like we got one up here. So like when people are like, maybe the ref makes a decision that like, well, we got to go to the, you know what I mean? I don't know. Who knows? That's just stuff I'm thinking about. Like, would they do that just to like, oh, it's got to be like, it can't be a finish. It's got to go all 3 rounds. And like the guy doesn't fight as hard. And you're like, there's a little leeway too. But I mean, look, sometimes there's nothing you can do. If one guy's trying to win, it's over,
So I have a question. Are you a Joe Rogan fan?
Yeah, I like Joe Rogan. Yeah. yeah. I've met him a couple times.
You have?
Yeah.
Because he's a commentator, so you get into commentating as well, correct?
Yep, I was doing it. I did it a couple times for like local fights and stuff. It's cool. It takes a lot of work. You got to research everybody, and sometimes there's like nothing to say, so you have to like, really get creative. And then also, it's interesting. Like you're talking about the fighters, so like they'll get mad at like the local guys. Like were getting mad at me, like rewatching their fight and hearing me talk about them and being like, "You said I looked tired in the second round." I'm like, hey, man, well, I mean, I'm just calling balls and strikes. Like, I'm just saying what I said. Like, I didn't say it like, I wasn't like, he's looking really tired. He looks like crap or whatever. I didn't say it like that. I was like, however I said it, it was
the obvious.
Yeah, I'm just like, he's going to have to, look for him to come out here and try to like maybe end the fight or like maybe slow down a little bit or whatever. So it's kind of tough to do that because it's like I'm like supposed to be the expert, but then sometimes the other guy's not talking as much, and it's like you don't want to leave dead air. It's kind of weird. Like I don't want to. There are other guys that are trying to become professional commentators, and we run a jiu-jitsu tournament. It's called the Finishers Sub Only, and we like every now and then, like we don't have commentators for it, so I'll have to do it. I'm like, damn, I really don't want to do it. Like I don't want to sit there and have to just go crazy and talk about it all the time and like push the show along, and like that's the part that stinks. If I was just having a convo about it, like if we were doing a fight companion, that's different,
But it's so necessary, bro. It adds so much to the fight.
Yeah, it is true. Like the guy has to be. I mean, look at Joe Rogan. Like he's forever been talking about jiu-jitsu moves and trying to explain things, in a way that like regular people that don't train can understand it. So that's one of the things too. And he's actually a black belt. Joe Rogan's a black belt under the same guy that I got my black belt from, Eddie Bravo. I never saw him. I think was he at class one time? Never saw him in LA when I went to class, but I just met him at like other events, like at the ADCC and then at this other big event that they had in Las Vegas called Craig Jones Invitational. He was just, or was it that one or was it ADCC? He was just there and I happened to walk by him and I was like, oh shit, it's just me and Joe Rogan. I was like, this is weird, but I don't want to, you see him so much. You don't want to be a weirdo when you meet somebody. So I didn't say anything. I just walked by him. And he was like, hey, what's going on in there? And I was like, oh crap, now I'm having a conversation. So that was pretty cool. And then I know a couple guys that have been on his podcast, which is cool too. So, and then Eddie was good friends with him. So I've heard tons of stories. But dude, do you listen to his podcast? I don't listen to as much as I used to.
They're just so long. That's the only.
Yeah, that's killer.
They're like 3 hours. So
when I'm going on a plane ride or something like that, then it's nice to cook one of those up, like download it and be like, all right. Especially if it's someone good.
Or a long car ride, something like that. I
like when he talks to the guys who are talking about like ancient Egypt and stuff. Yeah, those are like my favorite
UFOs
ones.
And stuff.
Yeah, because it's like they kind of just dip out of politics and it's not just constant fight talk. And then I like the ones where he talks to certain fighters too, because like he'll talk to the best guys. Like he had one conversation with Topuria. You guys know him?
Yeah.
Ilya Topuria. He's was he the 155? I don't know what's going on with him. He was the 155-pound champ, and now he had some issues like his. I don't want to bring up his personal stuff, but I think he was like him and his like ex had some crazy thing going on, so he gave up the belt. That's why that Pimblett guy is fighting this weekend for the belt, which a lot of people know him. Like the international guys get a lot of love, and they make a lot of money through like other things because they're just people like where is he from? He's from England or somewhere over there, right? Yeah. So everybody loves him. They get behind him. The United States people are like, whatever.
So have you rolled with anyone that the audience would know?
Probably the most famous guy is like in jiu-jitsu is like Craig Jones or Eddie Bravo or like other famous jiu-jitsu guys, but I've never rolled with anyone that's like a famous, like just a famous person to be famous that I could think of. Yeah, most people would be like other MMA fighters or stuff like that. A lot of the famous people, they just keep to themselves. You know what I mean? They don't want to be like involved with the regular crowd because jiu-jitsu, like you said, it is kind of dangerous. So you'll get guys that are like, oh, that's Joe Rogan over there. Like, I'm going to try to fucking, you know what I mean? I'm going to try to rip his head off or whatever. And you're like, dude, why are you doing that? Even in jiu-jitsu, guys see like, oh, that's another famous jiu-jitsu guy. They're like, you know what I mean? Start piping up. And you'll have that, like, even in, in other sports, like you get guys that are like kind of dummies and they're just like ramming their head off the wall type guys. Like, I'm going to go test him. I'm going to go test this famous jiu-jitsu guy. It's like, Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Like now you see streamers do it. You ever see this stuff? Like guys are like, yeah, I want to box Pereira or whatever. And then they go in there and then the guys beat the crap out of them. And they're like,
that's a bad
why did I do that? Yeah, they should never do that.
So who are some of the biggest names out of Finishers MMA?
Right now, so there's basically, I want to say there's 3 levels of Finishers MMA, right? There's the Jiu-Jitsu, right, level, whereas like just the, like there are guys that just do jiu-jitsu. And then there's the striking, which is like what you said you came into class, right? Where it's just kickboxing, like you're learning boxing. The guys are teaching like we call it Dutch style kickboxing because it incorporates a lot of traditional boxing and kicking, kneeing, so all that stuff. Some guys just do stand up. And then we have a whole MMA team as well, whereas like the MMA team, they do, they'll wrestle. We have a wrestling class too, but they'll do striking and then they all do jiu-jitsu class too. So we're like, trying to basically wearing many hats. Like we're coaching these guys. We have our striking guys. We have our jiu-jitsu guys. So we have like a ton of different dudes, like pro fighters, amateur MMA fighters. And I would say our best guy though is like my first black belt. His name is John Blank. They call him Thor. When he first started, he had really long hair. Now he's balding like me. He just won it's basically like the Olympic trials of jiu-jitsu. He won he was in it before. He was good enough to be in it, had a couple of injuries, still real young, rehab, came back. We were down in Florida for that. He won 8 matches because there's like 1 million guys in it now because jiu-jitsu is getting so much bigger. Won all those matches. So now he qualified for the big show, which they call this ADCC, and it's in Poland in September. So, which is pretty crazy. So we get to go to Poland and it's next. Is it September? Yeah, I think it's September. So that's pretty dope. So now we're traveling like international and everything. It's pretty interesting. Sometimes they have this tournament in the United States. Sometimes I think they had it in China one time. So it's all over. So he qualified for that, but he's by far my best guy,
Nice. So say a beginner wants to come in, right? The first day. What do they expect?
So like, beginner guys, like we have dudes showing up all the time that like guys even in their 40s that never wrestled, never trained before. And we're like, all right, let's get this guy started. Usually if they want to do both striking and grappling, if they never wrestled, we're going to like put them on the heavy bag and like start showing them like the kickboxing skills first. It's a little bit easier to learn. So we'll like maybe start with bag training and get the guy in a little bit good shape, start working on your cardio. You're doing like cardiovascular workout the whole time because you're moving around, hitting the bags and stuff. Fundamentals, kickboxing, put them in that, start learning a little bit of that. And then the jiu-jitsu, I usually wait. If somebody wrestled though, they can go right into jiu-jitsu easy. Even if you didn't do anything, you could still go into jiu-jitsu real easy too. But if you're doing both, it's good to start with striking first. I feel like it's a lot less taxing on the body. You're not like learning takedowns or anything like that. But one of my buddies, Donnie, shout out to Donnie. He never wrestled or anything like that. He's in his 40s and he was just like, one day he had a kid. He's like, I got to get in shape. His wife did jiu-jitsu back in the day. So he just started out of the blue, no wrestling, nothing. And he's a blue belt now. He's been training for like 3 years, something like that. And he's just in there 2-3 times a week, training, learning moves, and it's a great workout because you're using your whole body. So, and he just takes beginner class, you're not really going crazy live. You're just learning techniques, learning how to move your body. And, you might think about like just sitting down, getting up 1 million times a good workout. Like you're sweeping each other, wrestling and, full body workout. And if you do striking on top of it, I feel like people can expect to get in shape pretty quick, especially the big thing I think it does is it helps you start thinking about other aspects of your life. Like, I'm going to start eating healthy now. You know what I mean? Because like I want to get in better shape, or I might start lifting weights now. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the biggest like things I would say that's good about starting to train martial arts, because it really pushes you to be better in everything else too. Not just like learning the moves. So I would say, learn it, like lifestyle changes and
discipline.
Yeah,
it teaches a lot of discipline.
Exactly.
Because you could use that for anything in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And starting off, how many days a week should a normal person train there?
I would say like 2 to 3 to start is good. Like you want to, do 2 to 3. And then the goal is to, stay consistent as much as possible. Like things are going to happen. Like maybe you twist your wrist one night or whatever, and you got to take off. Maybe you're, you know, your job is like working you a different shift now and you can't make it as much, or, you know, your kids got practice, or, you know, life gets in the way. But the key is to just keep trying to rip 1 to 2 to 3 at most, you know, if you first start, like during the week. And if you do that for like 2-3 months, you get in a groove where it's pretty easy. And you'll see, man, people get addicted to like doing jiu-jitsu. It's nuts. It's just like they get addicted to going to the gym or running, where you like see people running like ice storms and stuff. You're like, this guy's nuts. But it's like it releases those endorphins and you feel like, hey man, I gotta train, I gotta get into something, I gotta do this. And then, like, you know, not everybody, like we have a ton of like professionals too, like we're lucky with that, but we have a lot of guys that just, you know, majority of people just train 2 to 3 times a week for fun, you know?
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's good. Do your guys do a lot of recovery, like cryo therapy and leg compressions?
Yeah, 100%. Some of the guys just, you know, there are guys that like don't believe in that stuff. They just won't do anything. But like I try to get, like, for me, I'm getting older too. I try to get massage. We have a physical therapist that basically works out of the gym. Shout out to Dr. Kyle. He's working on people all the time. And then like we have Laura, one of my black belts, she does massages too. So she's working on people. So, you know, we're definitely trying to incorporate that in. I'd love to one day get a sauna for the gym. Yeah. And an ice bath too. Like I have an ice bath at my house. I want to get a sauna at my house too, but man, it's so nice. Like just to, like when we're on vacation or we're traveling for a tournament and the hotel has all that stuff, so huge. Cause you just like sauna at night after training, like get another sweat in. Especially if you're cutting weight or something like that, and then feel good the next day. Like that helps out so much. Other countries got that on lock. Yeah. Around here, where people aren't used to that.
The recovery is insane. Sauna and ice bath. I mean, you roll, you release the endorphins, and then you hop in the ice bath, and you get all the dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, all that. What's your favorite temperature for ice baths?
Honestly, I don't even know. Like I have like a cheapo one that I use. I have like a plastic one that just fill it up with water and I just dump like 3 bags of ice in it, wait, and then I nail it.
Yeah. You don't have a temperature gauge?
I didn't. I had one, but it broke. Like I bought one of the cheap ones off Amazon, you know, and then now I have it at the gym. I haven't taken it home yet, but it's just like one of my guys, Renee, gave it to me. It's like a big, like it looks like a trough that like pigs would eat out of. It's like one of those ones. So I'm gonna fill that up and then put like a cover on it. And then we were using one that was like a freezer that we just took apart and then just made it so like water would go in, so you could just jump right in the freezer.
So you laid it on its back?
Yeah.
Oh, a freezer?
Yeah, freezer. Yeah. No, we just kept it up. Like it was upright and like they fixed it up so that way the water wouldn't come out of it. Yeah. And then we just used that place, because then you close the freezer door, it stays kind of cold in there. Yeah, the ice bath's money, man. I like that. I like the sauna. That's like the most underutilized thing, I think. And then like different, like, you know, food and drink and stuff. We're always trying to, you know, talk to the nutrition guys and all that, see what you could be eating, like less inflammatory foods and everything like that. But
yeah, the sauna is huge. The sauna is huge for cardiovascular health.
Yeah, monstrous. So where do you guys go to the sauna around here?
So I used to own Energy Wellness.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Therapy, a lot of red light and stuff like that.
Nice.
We're looking to actually put a sauna, ice bath, and a few other things in here.
Dude, that would be sick. Well, you got me as a customer, dude. I'll roll by. It's close to the gym. I mean, I guarantee, I thought of that idea a super long time ago, but I was like, man, I'm really busy. Like, I don't want to try to open up another business. But I was like, someone smart, they'll just have that where you could just go and use it. The problem is, like, it's got to be open. Like, well, I mean, during the day, you still get a lot of people, but it'd be ideal for me to, like, use it. For me, I would like to use this at night, or, like, after training is done for me, usually at 8 p.m. Like, I would roll right out to an ice bath, just nail that, because like I feel like for me too, it like zaps the soreness. Like you're about to be sore, like if you didn't do anything, but if you just hit an ice bath or even the sauna, it like relaxes your muscles. So then when you're not like super tight, like I wake up, I feel like I'm a caveman. It takes me like all day to like kind of straighten out and be like, you know what I mean? People are like, what's wrong with you? And then by the night, but if I had those things readily available throughout the day, that'd be huge.
Do you guys do a lot of stretching there or no?
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of like, the thing is everybody's got to do that kind of stuff on their own. Like all the strength training, the stretching, and like recovery, we don't, even if we had it at the gym, like there's training hours, like where you're just, and people are so busy, they get in and hit their 2-hour training block and then they're out. So like I always encourage people like do yoga, or I've been following this thing. I have scoliosis. Like, you guys know what that is, scoliosis. I have double scoliosis, so my spine goes like this. So I got to be real careful. And I'm like always strengthening my back and hanging off stuff. Like, so I'm always trying to like really work on that. Like that's huge. If I don't do that the next day, I'm hurting big time.
Do you think that hinders you when you roll?
I don't think so. Actually, I'm like kind of hyper flexible, which is weird. Like, I don't even know if that's kind of like bro science saying that, but like in like I could, like, my hips, like I could pull my legs in like this, and
that's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people can't do that.
No one can see that.
Yeah, I could do it without my hands, but like it's harder with shoes on. But a lot of people don't have that hip dexterity, and I think because of the way my, like, I don't know if it's my spine is shifted forward or whatever, but I've never had to stretch that. I've always had the full, you know, where my legs are down, and some people are like this, they can't do that shit. So, like, I think that helps me because I can, like, get out of a lot of stuff just using flexibility. But it does, like, after a while, like, my back gets really sore, like my lower back. And, like, every time I get a massage from a new massage therapist or whatever, they're always like, oh, my God, because they can tell just looking at my back, like the one side is super inflamed just because of the way it. I'll show you guys the X-ray then. It's pretty bad. But the one doctor, he told me just as long as I keep my back strong, like if I like work my back a lot and then constantly do like decompression type stuff, that's what I'm really into. Like, I love the ice bath and sauna, but I'm really just dying for like anything to decompress my back. Like, remember, do you guys ever have G.I. Joes back in the day? They have like, it was like 3 pieces, like the top piece, and there was a rubber band. The like waist piece was like the groin area, and then like the legs. That's what I need. I just need to be like pulled apart in some type of like medieval, like, I don't know, like where you're like pulling my neck out, because I feel like everything is compressed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's how my back feels. So like, you constantly want to like decompress your back. That's how I've been doing it, and it's been helping out a lot.
Could you adjust the mic real quick?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, just like,
oh, that's way.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you guys do any other recovery, like red light therapy, anything like
that? One of the girls that trains at our gym, I think she owns one. I forget what it's called. She'll kill me now because can't remember the name of it, but she has like a red light thing or whatever.
Yeah, it helps with inflammation.
Yeah,
that's like what everything does. Sauna.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's right. My wife will kill me too. She got me a red light. It's like a back thing. It's like a strap. It like goes around, and it has that. That's pretty dope. I forget to use it, but I should just at night. I fall asleep on the couch. I should just put that on. But yeah, I'm into all that stuff, dude. Ice, anything, like just icing my knees, like any kind of recovery stuff. But
especially getting older, it helps.
Yeah. It's huge. And like, you know, the older you get, you lose all that muscle. So like strength training, I think, is so important. Like I made a pact to myself, you know, to really make sure I stick on my strength and conditioning. Like, jiu-jitsu is fun because you're rolling around the ground. You're like trying to submit the guy, and it's like you're going for kills or whatever. And kickboxing is fun because you're hitting the pads and you're sparring with a guy. But like weightlifting to me is just boring. Like some guys that are just weightlifting all the time, like, how the hell do these guys do it? Like, I can't get up and get like, you know what I mean? I wake up in the morning, I'm like, dude, I don't feel like lifting. But I think that's what's important for keeping your body healthy and just be able to withstand doing shit. Like if someone like you fall and you're old, you just fall apart. But if you're like lifting and like, I just feel it's like that grit of like, you know what I mean? I need to I haven't been consistent with it, but now like my son's getting a little bit older. I have it in my house, like in my garage. There's no excuse. Like I need to just 2-3 times a week. I need to just have ChatGPT write me up a freaking thing for like a half hour, tell what I got. And then just, you know, 3 times a week, 2-3 times a week, same thing. Just like I'm saying with jiu-jitsu, if you do the strength training, that'll help out a lot. It helps with not getting injured too.
Yeah, so you're speaking about health, like being healthy.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone that comes in that isn't as healthy and you have to kind of help them get in shape?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really do like nutritional stuff, although we have like a big event coming up where like there's going to be people there from Lehigh Valley Health Network talking about like eating healthy, and like we will give guys guidance on like cutting weight and stuff like that. But most of that stuff is kind of like on your own. But like I'm always there for like people to ask like if they need anything for like food advice or like anything like that. But people, like I said, people start looking into it on their own real fast. Once they come in and they start getting in shape and start feeling good, they're like, oh, dude, like I'm not going to drink soda anymore. Like I'll just, so sometimes I'll have questions like, I think the main advice I give is I have to bust the guys' balls on energy drinks. The guys will just slam energy drinks, and I'm guilty of it too sometimes. But I try not to use it until I like really need it. Because if not, I'm just like every day drinking an energy drink. I'm like, damn it, and that kind of zaps your cardio too, because you get like that sugar, burst where you can go hard for a little bit, but then you crash out, and then you're like wanting to drink another one. I mean, dude, when I worked full time and I wasn't doing this, I was drinking like 2 energy drinks a day. Just to get through the freaking day, you know what I mean?
Yeah, all that sugar causes inflammation too.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So recovery, it takes a lot more to recover.
I also have family members on both sides that have, and my dad is diabetic, so like you got to watch out. Like I don't want to, even though like I'm in good shape and I work out all the time, if you eat a lot of sugar, you can still become diabetic and not be overweight or anything like that. So got to be careful with that.
So the most interesting aspect, I have a friend that goes to 10th Planet, and his life changed drastically after he started going to the gym, and he started working out, and now he has a fight coming up in February. Oh, he's looking very, very excited for that. So they change their lives quickly. Yeah. Right. How does that feel to just see all these men's lives changing for the better?
I think it's huge, man. It's something that like we don't always talk about too. We don't get to talk about because we're just so wrapped up with talking about fights and training and like moves and whatever we're doing next. And it's cool because like I was talking about this with someone else too. It's like people are looking to be a part of something, like the camaraderie of it. Like that's why we have so many guys that like they never were a part of anything before in their life. Like they weren't on a wrestling team, they weren't on a whatever, and then now they're like on this team where they're like, it'd be like, not that we're at this level, but it's like kind of like, hey, if I am cool with, if I like a sports team, it's like you getting to throw passes with, because like the main guys will actually train with you. You get to train with them, and then all of a sudden you're like battling out with these guys in the gym, and then not everybody fights. Like 1% of the guys fight, or compete. But then the guy who goes out and competes, it feels like the whole gym's competing. You know what I mean? Like, because the guys that work full-time jobs, they're still on the team, and we need them just as much as the guys that only do jiu-jitsu or MMA for a living. So I think it's so huge. Like I feel like I've positively impacted so many kids' lives. Even kids that started with me when they were like 10 and then became teenagers. They don't train anymore, but I got one kid that is he goes to college. He's doing filmmaking now, so he's like super into filmmaking, and he trained his whole young career. But he could always go back and do jiu-jitsu at any time. But he always, when I see like he'll be like always talking about how like I gave him a chance and he worked at the gym, and people remember that stuff. They really do. And then I got like another kid that graduated that like they're going to different colleges. One kid, like his mom sends me photos of him. He's like in the Army now. It's pretty sick. Like a lot of the kids grow up to become professionals and like do really well, and I think that's huge. And then I think just for the normal guys that just like they weren't teenagers or kids and they were just adults, it's like, yeah, joining a team. Like you're in a gang almost. Like we talk about it fun. Like it's like, yo, it's you know what I mean? Like we could just have 20 dudes roll up to like whatever at any point. Like someone's family's in trouble. We need to like, move that shit out their house. Like we're going to show up with like a truck full of guys. You know what I mean?
I think that's the biggest thing I see looking from the outside in the whole jiu-jitsu community is the brotherhood.
Yeah.
What would you say that's one of the biggest things?
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, I feel like the guys, that's bigger than just even the fights or like the competitions or any shit like that. It's just knowing that when you come to the gym, like there's going to be people there that they're not judging you for anything. We have all types of, people there, every race, you know what I mean? Different religions, all that kind of stuff. Different political people are into this. I see people sharing all types of crazy shit on both sides on their Instagrams. But when you come to the training gym, everybody's just training together. And it's like, you really feel like, because and I think it's because of the, intimate, like physical contact with someone else that you're having, like not to be weird, but even when you're striking, you're like punching each other, and you got that other guy's like, health and, in your hands. Like you could just fucking really hurt him if you wanted to, but everybody respects one another.
That's what I was going to say.
It's cool.
It's the respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys are hitting each other, rolling with each other. Like you respect each other.
Yeah. And then you'll have, man, it's crazy. You'll have guys that are like, just are like dropped out of college that just like smokes weed and plays video games, wrestling a guy who's like a police, he's a cop, Bethlehem cop. And it's like, it's pretty crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, and they're just, everybody's just chilling, so, dude, both. I mean, some of the, the weed smoking guys are like into leg locks, and then the cops are freaking tough, man. And the firefighters and stuff. So we got all those guys, and then we have like, just regular dudes who just feel like training,
It's crazy too, because if someone makes it from the gym,
yeah,
you know what I mean, and they're fighting on the big stage, then everyone roots. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone gets so hyped.
Yeah. Dude, I see people, the way they act, like when one of the guys is fighting or competing, I see the way the people are just like so into it. They're like, come on, let's go. Like, it's like just, how people are diehard, like Eagles fans or Bills or whatever. They're like, their whole, like, couple of weeks afterwards relies on this game. People get into it. And like I said, especially because it's not like, the Eagles are cool, the Bills are cool, but you don't know those guys. They don't know you. You actually know these guys. So even coaching, it's like nerve-wracking. I don't care about myself, but like when I'm coaching the kids or whatever, I'm just like, praying that they have a good experience. They don't get hurt because like, you know them. Like you've grown up with them. You've been training with them like for years. It's like you just want them to do good so bad.
So Zach, do you run any other businesses?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a bunch of stuff lately. I'm trying to get into everything. As I say, we always, the joke that we have is we're always like, if a nickel bag gets sold in a park, I want in. That's from King of New York, Christopher Walken back in the day. But I like that one. I'm trying to get involved in whatever. Like we have, a lot of it's related to the MMA gym, but like we run a tournament that's like separate from the gym. So we're running the Jiu-Jitsu tournament. Like that's like basically running the basketball. It's like event planning. I set up the matches, so I'm the matchmaker for that. And I'll do like jobs where I'm like judging for a big event. I'll try to get involved with that. I'll do commentating randomly, podcasts. I'm trying to just get the word out there as much as possible. Try to branch out. I'm starting up an MMA promotion, so I'll definitely hook you guys up with tickets once that goes down. I'm just waiting for the PA commission to get the paperwork through, and then I'll be able to hold fights. And I want to do it like, it depends. Like there's a bunch of locations, but somewhere in the Lehigh Valley, there will be fights. Finally, we'll have them back, MMA. So I think that'll be dope. Keep the tickets low so that way a lot of people come. So it might not be at the casino, but it'll be around somewhere cool. What else am I doing? I'm working on getting my real estate license because I have a bunch of guys that I'm working with that are doing like investment properties and stuff. And I have a bunch of properties in my family that aren't necessarily mine, but that are going to need to be, worked out, between my mom, my grandmother, and all these older people that are in my family where they're like, they need direction. And it'll be nice because then I can just not rip them off, do a good job. And then I can also do that on the side too as well. And then I ran for Borough Council in Bangor. That's where I live. And I got on the now I'm a council member there. So nice. I got into politics too as well. So I'm trying to do that. But I don't know, man, like being a business owner, like an entrepreneur, like it's cool because I feel like it's all up to me, like it's totally up to me whether I'm going to, wake up every day and like dick around all day, which sometimes I do because I have a 4-year-old. So sometimes me and him are just like, I'm not doing shit today. We're just going to hang out. And, he goes to school, like he has school tomorrow. And then I got 3 hours. And then like before, and then I teach at night. But, I just feel like during the day, I'm always trying to get into something. We sell gear and we're doing pretty good with that. So I want to hone that in for this year. So, I'm trying to get into everything, I guess.
What kind of stuff do you sell?
Like t-shirts, hats, like all that kind of stuff, but it's all like finishers related. But I'm going to try to take it more, and we do rash guards and stuff too, but I'm going to take it more of like a streetwear type, thing, like make higher quality stuff and do like less drops. And one of our guys, Quentin, he's like our main media guy, Quentin Fernandez. He works for Home Base Skate Shop. So he does a lot of media for them. He does all of our filming and like films my class. Like every every Wednesday night. That's where I was before I was here. Every Wednesday night's like our biggest class, or I'll have like 30 or 40 deep in my advanced class, and he films it and like we cut it up for Instagram. So doing that too, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's fun, dude.
Do you have any advice? Because we have a lot of entrepreneurs that watch this podcast. Do you have any advice for upcoming entrepreneurs that aren't there yet, but are striving? They're going through challenges. They're pushing through obstacles.
Yeah, I feel like I would tell guys all the time, like, I had a saying back in the day when I was working a full-time job. I was like, man, this is temporary. Like, this is all temporary. Like, I have to do this job now, but I'm always like kind of working the ball down the field. Like, I'm always trying to like work on something. And the main thing is like realize that like this isn't going to be this way forever. Like, the more as you make changes and get higher up, you're going to start like being able to do different things and like basically unlock new opportunities. That, and just to be patient, you know, like so many people quit on shit like after 1 or 2 years, and it's like, bro, you don't know where that could have went.
Yeah.
So even if you have to work a full-time job and you can't just go full 100% into it, or you have to like drive Uber on the side or whatever it is, like just do it. Who cares? And just be patient and keep working towards it. I mean, it's kind of like the cliche things that they say. Like when I listen to other business guys, I'll listen to them and I'll be like, oh man, like this guy's good. Like, you guys know Alex Hormozy? You know that guy?
Yep.
He's the gym launch, you know? So
I know he does a lot of business.
Yeah, he has a thing now where it's like an online school type thing where you're like selling stuff. Like, that's an option too. But his main thing is he started a thing called Gym Launch, where like he would sign up with your gym and then he would help you like through different email marketing and like different advertising in your area. They had it down pat, and they would guarantee a certain amount of gym members, and people would do it because, you know, they're actually you're paying them a decent amount. It might be like, not to give the game away, but it might be like $1,500, $2,500 you're giving them a month, but they're bringing you in like $5, $6, $7 grand. So it's like, okay, like that makes sense. Let me work with this guy, you know? So he did a lot of those and wrote a bunch of books and stuff. So I'll listen to him, and then he'll say like the most easiest, like simplest, basic thing. Yeah. Like, just keep working, just keep grinding. And I'm like,
consistency,
damn, like,
discipline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just got to keep doing it. It sounds corny, but it really is. Like, whatever you're doing, you just got to keep doing it. And then I always think to myself too, I'm like, man, could I work harder? And I'm like, yeah, I could definitely work harder. Like, I could definitely, you know, wake up a little bit earlier or stay up later or whatever. And just, you know, some shit just takes time. Like getting the MMA promotion, that just teaches you, like, it's all paperwork. It literally is just paperwork and emailing people, staying on top of the guy, and just not giving up. Like, people do like half of it and be like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. Or, oh, the guy's not getting back to me. Whereas like, I think the main thing that I have for me that helps me is like, I just won't give up. I'm just not going to stop until they're like, we go all the way down to the end with it. And he's finally like, no, because of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is one of the biggest problems this generation has, is they give up too quickly.
Yeah.
They get burned out too quickly. They get depressed too quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But fighting teaches you to push through that, because you got bruises, you're hurt, but you want that.
Yeah.
You know, so do you have any hobbies outside of, for those of people that have walked past you, like Joe, you walked past Joe Rogan, like, oh, I want to talk to that Zach guy, but I just never got a chance. Do you have any hobbies outside of MMA?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I don't really like, and honestly, like if my wife takes me like a family thing, or not a family thing, but it's my family, I don't mind talking to them about it. But like, you know, like a Friendsgiving thing we went to. And like, I won't bring it up at all. And she'll like always bag on me and be like, you don't even talk about it. Like, you should tell people. Like, if we go to my son's thing, like, I don't always want to talk about it because sometimes I feel it's like not genuine, and like I don't like bragging about, like I don't want to, but like it's tough to, because some guys are like just mean, you're like, well, is this guy any good or anything, like, or whatever. So it's like kind of weird. It's like, I don't know, for me it's like, I don't mind bragging on Instagram and like putting my persona out there, like I don't care about that. But in person, like I'm just like I'm just not that type of person. I'd rather be laid back on it and let them find out, like, oh wow, dude, actually, you know what, that one guy we were talking to, like he actually owns Finishers MMA or whatever, you know what I mean? I'd rather, for me, I feel like that's better. So a lot of times I'll just see what other people are into, and you know, talk to them about that. I recently, I mean, this is not like a hobby, but I recently just been getting really into history. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older, but like I never gave a crap about it when I was younger. But now I've been like going back on Netflix and watching like old World War II stuff. And I'm like, man, I didn't know. I'm like, wait, what? Like I like remember it, like learning about it. But when I was a kid, I just brushed it off, you know, and now I'm going back and learning about that. I think that's pretty cool.
You should get into ancient Rome a little bit.
Yeah, dude. All right. Yeah, I'll check that out too. Like, I'm always looking for new stuff because I'll just put on YouTube. Like, I'll go home, my wife and son are asleep. I just put the headphones on, like doing dishes. Like, what? You know what I mean? I'm like learning about it or whatever. So that, I like, I like me. Like, I like old hip hop music. Like, I like that. So I'll like me and my cousin. Like, we'll always talk about like, you know, if there's anything new coming out. So I'll watch that. Like, I will watch sports and everything.
Who's your teams?
I like the Buffalo Bills, unfortunately. They had a rough game the other day.
That's why you brought up the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And like I would root for the Eagles too. My wife's a Jets fan, but baseball I don't really watch anymore. Basketball I grew up in the 90s, so like I'm just a Jordan fan, you know. So it's tough to watch guys now where I just feel like I feel like everything was cooler back in the day. But same with like pro wrestling's garbage now, you know. Yeah. But like in the 90s though, dude, it was sick, bro. Or even in 2000s. Yeah, the Attitude Era, that was sick. You know, D-Generation X and NWO and stuff. Those things were cool. Now I feel like it's just whack. You know, I don't know. Stuff like just a lot of things make me mad. Even movies, bro. Like movies, I feel like were so much better back in the day.
They were. Movies past 2006, 5 are just complete garbage.
Yeah, and they just keep rehashing stuff that I feel like they're not doing a good job. It's like so rushed. But like, man, me and my dad, you know, growing up, me and my dad would always watch like, you know, Schwarzenegger movies or like Stallone. So we'd be
What's your favorite movie?
Stuff.
One movie?
Man, I don't know. There's so many of them, but
Terminator?
just to show someone, yeah, Terminator was good. I would say maybe Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Oh, you're right there.
It's a great movie.
I like Goodfellas too because like a lot of younger guys haven't seen that. Yeah. You know, and then like
too.
Yeah, I put them in that and like, you know, we'll be hanging out or whatever, having a good time, and then like we'll be on a trip and all the young guys are like in their 20s are like, I never saw that. I'm like, you never saw that? Like, there's so many movies too, like Demolition Man. Do you remember that one?
No, I haven't seen that.
Look up Demolition Man. That's with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone, and he like cryogenically froze both of them. Like they unfroze them in the future, and it's crazy. Some of the stuff that's going down was like exactly what they were doing during COVID. So it's like they predicted all this stuff. Wow. They predicted like you not being able to say anything bad about anybody. You get fined. Like there's all this stuff. And then Wesley Snipes was the bad guy, and he dyed his hair blonde, and that's where Dennis Rodman got the idea to start dyeing his hair. He got it from that movie. So that's a sick one. Like there's so many movies like that too that are like just very obscure, but they were like just blockbusters back in the day. So I kind of miss movies, but I just like going back and watching old shit now.
Joe,
What about Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump, I love that movie too. That's another classic. Dude, that time frame, every day was, or every month there was like new bangers. Yeah. Like you ever see, I follow this one Instagram site where they'll post up like, just so you know, these were in theaters all at the same time. And it was just like, you know, Jurassic Park, like again, like everything that was like, you look back and like the first ever one, it was sick.
Joe, what's your favorite movie? I never asked you.
Ooh. It's tough to pick one.
I used to watch Dumb and Dumber a lot.
Dude, that's another classic.
That was a good one.
So funny.
Yeah.
I remember when he had the what was that guy's name? He had two pairs of gloves on. Yeah. And the other guy was freezing it.
Yeah. Around the fire.
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber, and then Ace Ventura. Remember Ace Ventura?
No, I haven't seen that.
That's another one with same thing, Jim Carrey. I mean, he was just hilarious back in the day. And then I still like rap music now, but man, back in the day though, there was so much good stuff. Yeah.
So who's your favorite old school rapper and who's your favorite new school rapper?
I like Big L. Big L's definitely my favorite old school rapper, and I'll still bump that. You know what I mean? I'll still listen to Big L all the time, and we'll listen to that in the room too all the time. And then I don't know, new guys, like there are dudes, like some of the guys too, I don't even know their names. But I know
most of them start with Lil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Little or who's better, little or bigs? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's the fats, and then there's but yeah, I don't know. New guys, like it's tough to pick too. Like, man, they're
You seem like a Mob Deep guy from back.
Yeah, I like Mob Deep. Yeah, they were good. I liked a lot of the what's that?
Locks?
Yeah, the locks. Hell yeah, I still love Jadakiss. And then now it's funny. I saw a meme that said like you could tell it's getting summer when Unc started blasting Jadakiss. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, dude, now I'm an Unc. Dang. But yeah, they're dude. Any of those, man. Big L. I liked a lot of the East Coast guys just because I was East Coast, and then my one brother, introduced me to Wu-Tang too. I remember when they came out, and it's just kind of different. And then there are new guys though that I like. Dude, who just got out of jail? Did Fetty Wap just get out of jail?
Yeah.
So there are guys like that I definitely like. Future.
I can see you listening to Wiz.
Yeah, I like Wiz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wiz, please.
He started training. I like Action Bronson. Let's see. Yeah, there's so many guys. But as for that, movies, hip hop, jiu-jitsu, that's pretty much it. Fights, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Working out.
So what do you expect? Are there any big news coming up for Finishers in the next couple of years?
Dude, we've been expanding. I opened up another one in Stroudsburg, and then they opened one up in Lansdale, and we're just gonna keep expanding as much as possible. Keep trying to take over, open up more spots, and like I said, the MMA promotion and all that, and then see where it goes. Like, I'm gonna definitely get into other business, like I was talking about. I'm gonna get into some other type of business stuff too. Maybe some investment properties, portfolios, dividends.
Yeah, I love dividends. I got you on that. We'll talk later about that.
Bitcoin, you know what I mean? I was thinking about starting a jiu-jitsu coin. Yeah,
That would be cool.
I feel like it would work, but I don't know anything about it, so I gotta
We can put it in the right direction.
Nice, that's what I'm saying. Because think about that. A lot of people would buy that because it's just called jiu-jitsu coin. You know what I mean? And then eventually, you could use it for whatever, credits for a tournament.
And you should do one for Finishers MMA. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you have the liquidity be low. Only so many coins, not like 1 trillion coins. Like, okay,
Right.
there's only 1 million coins or 100,000 coins. Now it has value,
Yeah.
right? So, brother, wrapping up, everyone gets old, everyone expires. Who do you want to be remembered as in the future?
Damn, that's a tough one. That's a good question, though. I think for me, like, I know Finishers is like, I always say this is big, like, because, sometimes they're like, oh, come on, you got to do it. Or, I always have to take the lead. And I guess I'm kind of like the face of the gym, but like, John, he doesn't talk as much. He doesn't post as much on Instagram as me. But I know that it's going to go on beyond me. I feel that, whether it's my son who takes over or, the other guys who are at the gym, just even if this gym doesn't go, which I think it will, because it's like a pillar here in the community, I feel. I just want to be remembered as someone who's like, who actually walked the walk, said they were going to do it, did it, and then helped out as many people as I could along the way. You know what I mean? Like if I'm remembered for helping people, like my own career is whatever, but I do, don't take for granted that I can still go out there and like, lead from the front, you know what I mean? But then also too, like I said, be remembered as someone who helped as many people along the way. So I think that's the bigger impact, whether it be in jiu-jitsu or just even in life. I think that's huge. You know what I mean? That'll impact many more lives than I ever could even think of. So that's huge.
Amen. That's great.
Well, it was great having you on the show, Zach.
Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, Zach.
Talk about that Bitcoin deal.
Yeah, let's do this, dude. Let's make some money.
Do it.
Thank you, man.
Yep. Thank you, guys.